The shorter time frame charts for XRP shows us bearish targets are still valid. Now this is also supported by the chart of Ether, which is following a similar trajectory to that of XRP. You can see a head and shoulder pattern which just broke to the downside, and we were following this, and we can actually see the targets are way below than 150. Now even if we look at 70 to 80% of that target to achieve, it's still down, way down. Now then we'll actually look at the long-term chart of XRP and look at the price fluctuation in a couple of patterns. Before we jump into the charts and discuss through it, I would like to take you guys through some updates here. Say this is the first one from at Status, and this is a video which I'm going to play, say 10 seconds or something below that, and that's really informational.
Momentum for the tremendous liquidity we have in the world that is sitting idle, and then liquidity we have in the world that is sitting idle.
So that has to be noted multiple times, and if you want to play this, you can go ahead and play it multiple times. If you just follow at Status, you'll understand. Now she's actually talking about the liquidity which is idle in the world. Now, just like Christine Lagarde, who just left IMF to ECB, now yeah, we do have positive news from her too, but before that, we'll actually go through this. Say, for example, here they're actually showcasing that it is gonna happen. They are all pointing their finger towards that. And we have a liquidity crisis which is kind of at the tip. Banks need something to move on. Now, when we say that, we also have to consider that there are incidents like this happening around, and these are not stories made up, right?
Quietly, the central banks had said to us, shh, say nothing. And then our friends at Facebook announced Libra, and all of a sudden, thank you, by the way, because we were allowed to talk about what we've been doing.
Now you see that central banks just informed them, don't talk about this, shh, slow down, right? But now, as that Libra issue came up, things are starting to heat up. Now there is the next one from XRP Cult. The previous one was from I Am the Legion, and before that, that's less. So this one it is actually from Christine Lagarde. She's showing you that there is a possibility of a recession if we don't manage our economy properly. And as we know that, she's already a fan of disruptive technologies, and previously she stated that disruptors are clearly disrupting the financial industry. And think, if she already knew that we need liquidity, which is already supported by the new IMF chief, then automatically they are going to actually push towards that, because they have the ability to talk to all those important regulators, central bankers across the world. So that's going to happen soon. And this is from Michael, showing after several days of plunging markets, US has already put in 168 billion pumped inside the economy. Now that's actually higher than all money currently invested in Bitcoin. Now yes, when we say Bitcoin, it's about the total market of crypto. Consider that, because Bitcoin is having a higher dominance now, and if this is more than Bitcoin, then that's more than other coins too. Now the next tweet which I'm going to show you is just a perspective. Now this is from Billionaire Lifestyle, but this perspective is really important. Knowledge is useless if you never take action. So if you don't take action, then all the knowledge you receive from reading books or doing your own research, listening to informative channels, won't help you unless you take any action. Guys, this is the first chart which I would like to take you guys through, and before going through this chart, I would like to request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a regular basis, please do support the channel, hit the subscribe button, and by the end of this video, if you like the content, do obliterate the like button. In this chart here, this is a 2-hour chart of XRP, and you can see same pattern and trend following in the shorter time frame. Now, if we compare this, we have a similar set of support resistance zone and the standard deviations of those. See, for example, the resistance and support, we have actually recently tried them, and here we did the same. Now yes, if we are to follow the same path, then there is a possibility that we may repeat this thing here and the fall here again. Now yes, that's just a probability, but still it is a probability, right? So we have to consider that. So in case if we are not getting a bounce from the level of 0.2, 0.195, then this can play out. Now why is this still valid? Because the head and shoulder pattern which we previously discussed about for XRP, say these shoulders and the XRP and the head here, which was around 1.9 to 1.95 or 0.2, but this is going way lower than that. Now why is that if this is possible for the head and shoulder? Because if you consider the overall pattern of XRP, say in the larger time scale, considering this as a shoulder, head and shoulder, then yes, you still have a valid point down here, and the previous lows for XRP is around that area. You look at here, you can actually see that the previous low was just about 0.175, and the target which we are looking at on a shorter time frame, if we go down this path, is somewhere close. So that possibility is not that worst one. Yeah, depending upon the price fluctuation, it is, but considering it as a probability, it is informational. Now looking at the next chart, this is 4-hour chart of XRP, and as we can see, we have an upside resistance here again. So even if we are to bounce to the upside, we have to move above this particular level, that is say 0.23, 0.234, 0.235. If we don't, then we can again expect a retest of this low or to move below that area and retest the low of this cycle. Now this is the long-term chart of XRP. This is a 3-day chart, and this is just showing you that we have a path or pattern here in XRP chart which looks similar in terms of this. Now yes, this is not 100% accurate, but I tried to be precise. Say in this one, you can actually see the first one, the second, third, the fourth. If you look at the same first, second, third, the fourth, these look really similar. Now then if you look at 4 to 5 and then the transition from there to a new trend, say A, B, C, D and E, here you get really similar things. Just the difference is here at E. During the D to E here, we actually got only a small set of correction here, and we got a bigger correction here at E. Whereas as of now, if you look at that, in the cycle or the transition from D to E, we have already corrected 40%, which we actually discussed in the last video. If we are to get this correction here, then that is possible. But if we are having something new in this trend, then it is unpredictable, because we are doing chart analysis, trying to look at the past and say what can happen in the future. But if this is something new, then it is really difficult to do so. But when we actually zoom in, zoom out and look at different patterns, what we can understand for XRP is that we are having a similar pattern. See, for example, head and shoulder is kind of married to XRP. Here we had a small head and shoulder, then we have a long head and shoulder. Now just before this, we had a head and shoulder which just broke to the downside, and we were moving in this direction. So if you consider that, now we again have a head and shoulder pattern. But what you have to keep in mind is, before pumping this 8,000%, we had a head and shoulder pattern here. So it is a bit confusing for me at this moment whether this is something looking to the downside. Yes, if we check the neckline and if we break through that, then yes, it is a bearish pattern. But if we follow to the upside, then that's a good one. And this is the altcoin market cap chart, and in this one you can actually see that as we were following this, we are still at this level of support. So unless we break below this and come within this trading range, it looks like there is something which can support the price. But looking at both XRP and Ether, which are the top altcoins, we can say that either it will consolidate here and the alts will actually go down, or it may come back within this trading range. You guys should take care of that while considering your portfolio. Guys, that's all for today, and if you guys like the content I provided, please do support the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll meet you guys on the next one.